Rick, yesterday you talked about focusing on Seattle, so what do you expect to see from them tonight?
Well, actually, they've been one of the better offensive teams statistically and analytically, so these guys can score. So play without the puck's big for us, and then counterattacking is something that we got to do really well tonight.
Dakota mentioned just wanting to see that must-win mentality from their group. Is that exactly what you want to see?
Yeah, play on your toes. I think that's really what it comes down to in these type of games. Anticipate, play on your toes. Blocking shots. These little things like that really matter in these type of games. They always matter, but especially tonight.
Rick, do you want to put a number on how many of these 8 you need? Dakota said all 8. How many do you think you realistically need?
Yeah, I don't play that game. I mean, you got to win this game tonight. I mean, you have to think that way. You got to win. You win tonight, then you worry about that sort of you can't really scoreboard watch. If you scoreboard watch, you can get dejected, right? So I don't really. Sure, I watch the games, but I just worry about winning this game, getting 2 points for our team.
We've seen what St. Louis has done, won 10 in a row. You guys really haven't had a really sustained winning streak. Perfect time to do it now.
Yeah, you look at St. Louis, confidence, scoring with 20 seconds left. They've done it a few times. It's a confident team. It seems like 1 through 23 are confident in their lineup, and that's what you strive for. Everybody have play with confidence, and you win one, and you go from there. Yeah, Denver's in that. Yeah. No, pretty well the same lineup. We were deciding between Mance and Junior, but I think Junior's coming, and I think sometimes you have to make a decision. But doesn't mean Mance won't play in the back-to-back coming up. So, but tonight we'll go with Junior.
Rick, you name-checked Dakota yesterday as a guy that's sort of bringing it right now. It's been such a struggle for him all year with his situation. Yeah. Do you think it's is he just getting to his game now after all he's been through, or did you have to challenge him at some point here? Or?
Well, there's a bit of a challenge. I mean, I think he knows he's got to get going here. I think all year he's just been a second. His reads and his just seem a little slow reads wise, and I think I'd like to see him if he anticipates. This summer, I told him, don't worry about the off season. Getting yourself ready for the next year. There's still time for him to do certain things. I think for him, anticipation, he's just 1 second slow everywhere, where last year he was on top of his game. So can we find that second tonight? I think this road trip, there's some games there I felt he was a little quicker in his decisions, and that's what we're trying to get him to do.
And what about that line that you got him on right now? I mean, guys they can be a handful physically and look like they brought it on a lot of nights on the trip.
Yeah, that was a positive, on this road trip, that was a positive line for us, if you look at it. And I think Rats is starting to, he's a young kid. A couple of games early I made some mistakes, but I'm not seeing those mistakes as much now. And this is after the 4th, 5th game. But I think having those 2 wingers have really helped them. And, I've been playing that line and taking draws on our own end, some minutes where we really need them to go against maybe a top line. That's a big thing for me if I can have that line play against top lines.
We get fixated on goals at the start of the year. You said Carlson was close to making the team, a sticky guy, you call him, getting in on the forecheck and pinning guys. Where's his game at?
Yeah, I think he's added that that sticky guy, gets the net, can win a board battle. I mean, this time of year, those guys are important. Now we're looking for consistency. It's hard to do, every night. So that's what he's trying to find. It's like our team. We're chasing consistency.
Is his stride better? Is he stronger on pucks?
Yeah, I think there's I think he's a lot stronger on pucks. I think there's another level of being stronger, which he'll get to and mature. But I think that, like I said, his consistency level is getting better and better.
Was his goal in Nashville part and parcel? Getting to the blue paint, takes the cross ice from Izzy and finishes? Was that kind of what you're looking for?
That, or I think the power play goal, the game against
Columbus.
Yeah, it's like we had a lot. So the Columbus game, I think that's a element of his game. Getting body position, anticipate if the puck goes here and I get body position of the guy, I'll probably get some kind of good look at the net. To me, it's a big thing to me. He read it 2 seconds before, and then I think somebody cross-checked him. He still scored the goal. So those are big goals.
You said every night's a playoff game for a guy who's up here to get a good look and kind of quasi another audition. What do you expect from him down the stretch and then going into next year?
Same thing, same thing. These young guys, and even older guys. I don't care who you are, but especially young guys. Is these games are important. Everybody's watching how you're playing these games and desperation. I have no problem with the young guys that have come up and they're playing now. They have worked hard. You know, obviously they're going to make mistakes. We get that, but they have worked hard. Their work ethic is something that I cannot complain about.
Well, Tocchet, yesterday the guys just talked about the focus being winning and the game in front of them. How are you feeling heading into tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we're in a tough spot here, but we know what needs to be done, and I think everybody's excited for the challenge.
Does it need to be a game-to-game mentality rather than looking at the bigger picture at this point?
Yeah, for sure. You can't go very far without getting past what's in front of you. So, yeah, no, that's our focus. Come out, and we need everybody tonight.
What do you expect from Seattle? What about the challenge that they pose?
I expect them to come out and be a hard-working group, a team that can score. We got to be on our toes early, and I expect a good game.
Dakota, what do you realistically think you need out of these 8 games? How many do you think you need? I'm sure you're looking, standing with the rest of us.
I think we need all 8. So I think that's what the whole group thinks, and yeah, we need this one to get it going.
Give us an idea of just the sentiment in the dressing room right now, where the mindset's at.
Belief, the no giving up attitude, and just the will to battle against the odds.
How impressed have you been by the performances of some of the guys that have come up from Abbotsford and played bigger roles than maybe any of you would have expected with some of the injuries this year?
Yeah, for sure. In a time of need, they've come up and done great for us, and even to just give us a chance, they've done a hell of a job, and it's great to see, and I'm sure they know that still more work to be done.
What about you, Kiefer and Atu? Guys seem to have found something out on the road that's worked.
Yeah. There was we had some good chemistry going on the road. 3 guys who like to get in on the forecheck and get after it. Obviously, being said, not too many games together, so we got to find that consistency and keep it going. But great 2 players to play with.
Rick name-checked you yesterday as a guy that sort of has stepped things up here in the last couple of weeks. Do you feel like, after all you've been through this year, that you've sort of found your game?
Yeah, it's been better. Obviously, still, this year hasn't gone the way that I would have wanted it to go. With that being said, yeah, there's 8 games left here to, say, go out on a high note for what it's worth. And, yeah, I like the way I'm going. I just got to find a way to keep improving and being good for us every night.
Classic me playing a 2-on-1 like shit.
Playoffs? The Joker says to Batman, this is what happens when an immovable force meets an unmovable object.
An unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Generational talent.
Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.